Welcome to DIY Easy Crafts. Today we're going to take a look at how to make a foldable lemonade stand. Now my granddaughter asked me to make a lemonade stand for her. I decided to make one that's collapsible or foldable for easy storage. It's a very simple project. I used a couple of 2x3s, 1x2, and some 1/4-inch plywood. Now I started by cutting two pieces of 2x3 that are 30 inches long. I used these as the uprights. The table that I made, I didn't want to make it too tall. I made it 30 inches tall. I kept it under 4 feet wide. I think I went with about 36 inches wide. But you can make this any size that you want. What I'm really showing you in this video is how it went together and how it folds up. So I attached the 1/4-inch plywood to those two uprights. That's going to be the front of the table. And then I'm going to build the rest off of that. For the side arms, I cut a 9-degree angle in the 2x3 just with a chop saw. And I'll show you where we use that in a second. I made a side arm or swing arm for each side. And you could make this rectangular or squared off. I decided to give it a little bit of a flare. I made it narrower on the top than on the base, on the bottom. So basically, the width at the top is going to be the width of the table, and then it's going to be a little wider at the base. And the angle between that is where the 9 degrees came in. So each one of those swing arms is going to hinge off of the front's upright, the front's 2x3 upright. And I just used a couple of hinges on each side. Attach them with the screws that were provided. And all of a sudden it's starting to take shape. So now we've got the front panel in place, and I've got two side arms that swing outward to provide support for the table. I'm just gonna, the plywood that I had, I got 2x4-inch, 4-foot pieces of 1/4-inch. I just took a circular saw and cut off a section. Like I said, I didn't want to make the table all that wide for the kids to have to reach across. And now that tabletop is also going to hinge. But before I hinge it, I added a stiffener, a 1x2 stiffener across the front. If you use thicker plywood, you probably don't even need the stiffener. But the 1/4-inch stuff is pretty flexible. So I attached hinges to the top and to the front. And then in addition, I added a couple of 1x3s underneath that top. And that's going to sandwich up against that side swing arm and hold it in place. So that's the 2x3, and when it comes down, it kind of locks those swing arms in place. And if you look closely, next time I fold it up, they're at an angle. So each one of those swing arms opens up past 90. So it gives it a little bit of additional support. So the table itself is pretty much done. I'm going to trim off a couple of the hinges had screws that were longer than the 1/4-inch, the thickness of the 1/4-inch ply. I just cut those off with a little grinding wheel. Some of this plywood had some damaged spots. I had some Bondo in the garage. I filled in some of the damaged spots, some of the extra screw holes, etc. with some Bondo. And once that dries, it's very easy to sand off, sand smooth. Now I used a speed bore just to drill a couple of holes, one hole on each side. This is going to be used to hold the PVC uprights. So I'm going to drill not only through the top, but also through the 2x3 on the swing arms. So once that Bondo putty is dry, I sanded it off just with a circular sander. So here's the holes for the upright. I'm going to use PVC. It's going to go right through the top piece of the swing arm, and then it's going to rest on a hole that's only drilled halfway through on that on that 2x3 that's halfway through. And that'll function as the stop, the lower 2x3. The top of the sign, I'm just going to hold on to the PVC with a couple of pipe brackets. So it's just a piece of 1x6 and some pipe brackets. I used self-adhesive vinyl lettering. Kept it nice and simple.
Good job, guys.
So my grandkids come over to see what the progress, or what progress I was making, and I very quickly put them to work. And they actually did a pretty good job. Not too much paint on their clothes anyway. So this is basically the finished stand. As I said before, the swing arms swing out. They are held in position by the top, by the extra 2x3 on the bottom of the top section. The upright for the sign is basically done in PVC, 2 uprights, and then the cross member up top has 90-degree elbows glued in place, and that supports the sign. That's how it goes together. That's the finished product, and then a quick demonstration of how it comes apart. You just pop up the sign off of the uprights. Those upright PVC poles kind of lock not only the top but the side arms in place. And the whole table itself folds for transportation as well as storage. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I ask that you please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this YouTube channel. By all means, check us out on the website, which is www.diyeasycrafts.com. I've got a bunch of do-it-yourself projects on there that you might be interested in. Thank you very much for watching.